This van's just about to get our destination. 6-inch lift. It's 2-wheel drive, 98 E150 half-ton V8 van. So we're doing the rear end first. We got it jacked up, sitting on jack stands. First thing we did was take the bottom shock bolts off right here, and then we took the U-bolts off. This side we already have them removed. This side over here, you can see the U-bolts. You just remove all 4 of those, drop the U-bolts off in the plate, then lower the axle down, and you can put the new box in. We'll do that in just a minute. So here's the 2-wheel drive complete lift kit. Springs, rear box with U-bolts, drop track bar brackets, drop I-beam brackets, drop sway bar bracket, drop pitman arm, and all 4 shocks. The only thing not seen here is all the bolts that go with it. Alright, so here it is with the box installed. New U-bolts that come with the kit. New shocks. The bolts are put back in. The upper bolt, I don't know if you can see it right there, is the stud. These are stud shocks, so they're just a direct replacement. No adapters needed. Right now the rear end's hanging. You have plenty of slop in the brake lines. Emergency brake lines, ABS wiring, emergency brake line, nothing's pulled tight. So that's at full droop. I think you have about another 1/2 inch of droop out of these shocks, but that's it. So we're done with the rear, put the rear tires back on and move to the front end. Alright, so we're working on the front end now. We're going to take the calipers off, and we're going to take the ABS sensors off. And then we'll take the shocks and springs off, and the sway bar, and then we'll drop off the A-arms, the radius arms and the I-beams with the bolt up underneath here on both sides, and that will allow each corner to come out, and the tie rods. We'll take the tie rods off right here at the pitman arm because we're going to change pitman arm out. So first thing we're going to do, again, is going to be the sway bar, which is 2 bolts, and then we will drop off the springs and the shocks, and then we'll do this bolt right here for this control, for this I-beam, and we'll do this bolt right here, this for this I-beam, and then we'll do the radius arms, this nut and this nut. Okay, so now we have the left and right assemblies disconnected. We pulled the radius arm out of that hole right there, and the I-beams out of the 2 brackets, this one and this one. Now what we have to do is we have to grind off these rivets right here. 3 rivets on that side. It's bolted on this side except for the top one's a rivet, and that'll have to be ground off. Same thing here, we have 2 rivets and 2 rivets that have to be ground off. And then we'll unbolt the radius arm brackets with these 3 bolts on each side and drop those off and bolt the new ones on. And we're also going to change pitman arm out now too. So what we have to do is take these 3 steering box bolts loose. This one and this one will come out, this one will get loose, and then we can pivot it out and we'll use a pitman arm puller on it and drop it off. Alright, so we dropped off the radius arm brackets, we dropped off the I-beam brackets, we ground off the rivets and punched them up through the frame. Took the bolts off here. There's 2 bolts. There's nuts on the back side and 1 rivet right there. Same thing here. You got, oh, we missed 2. We got 2 rivets there and 2 rivets there that we popped out. Radius arm brackets missing on this side. We used a pitman arm puller. You can get from AutoZone for free. We dropped the pitman arm off. The reason for loosening those 2 steering box bolts is to make this movable so you can get at it. Otherwise, your pitman arm puller hits the frame. So there's 2 different pitman arms, so you have to make sure spline count's correct. Typically, it's a 150 and 250 and 350s are different from the 150 van. So, but there are exceptions to that. So you put the new one back on there and line up the splines. It only goes one way, it's keyed. Put the nut back on it, and then next we're going to put all our brackets on and we'll come back. Alright, so we have, these are the sway bar drop brackets, and drop it. And the bolts are put back in. Those are just the bolts you took out for the original sway bar. These are the I-beam drop brackets, bolted in where we knocked the rivets out previously. All bolts are supplied with the kit. This is a radius arm drop bracket. Those are the original bolts. And then you have two bolts, one right here and one right there. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. And those get drilled through the frame, 1964s. And then you run the self-tapper bolts in, which are the same that come factory for the sway bar mounts. And then you have one other I-beam mount right here, all bolted up. You can see the 3 bolts on this side and the 3 bolts on that side, right where the rivets for or bolts. We got our new Pitman arm on. It's tightened up. We tightened down the 3 bolts that hold the steering box on, and we're ready to put our I-beams back in. Alright, so we have the radius arms connected back up. We have the shocks bolted up. They're tight up top. New coil springs in place. Drop brackets we got for the I-beams are lined up and bolted. You can see the shocks are bolted on the inside. We have a tie rod left to hook back up to our Pitman arm here, and sway bar bracket is put in, so we just need to put the sway bars back on and tighten everything up, and we're done. There's a better shot of that bracket. And the shock and the spring on this side. And right now we're at full droop, and you can see we still got plenty of brake line. There's no bind whatsoever. This is the complete unit. Everything installed. Sway bars in there. Pitman arm. Drop 6-inch drop brackets for the I-beams. New springs. New shocks. 6-inch drops for the radius arms. There's a view of the back of the I-beam brackets. One and the other. We'll get this thing on the ground and see how it sits. So here it is, a 6-inch lift on it. It's still just got little street tires, but you can see the amount of clearance it gains.